Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. We travel back to the year 1993, into the heart of the United Kingdom, to uncover the incredible journey of the Elizabeth II 2-pence coin that has stunned collectors across the world. In 1993, Britain was standing at a fascinating crossroads. The echoes of the Cold War had faded, technology was beginning to reshape daily life, and the British economy was slowly finding its footing after turbulent years. Coins minted during this period were not designed to become legendary. They were meant to serve a simple purpose: everyday transactions. Yet history has a way of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, and the 1993 2-pence coin is a perfect example of that transformation. When the Royal Mint released the Elizabeth II 2-pence coin in 1993, no one queued up expecting treasure. Shoppers received it as change, children dropped it into piggy banks, and many adults barely glanced at it before spending it again. But what makes coins special is not just how they are born, but what they survive, and how time slowly reshapes their importance. The obverse of the 1993 2-pence coin carries the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a symbol of continuity and stability during a rapidly changing world. By 1993, Queen Elizabeth II had already been on the throne for over 4 decades, and her image on British coinage had become deeply familiar. This familiarity, however, is exactly what makes the coin so fascinating today. The portrait represents an era when the monarchy was adapting to modern pressures while maintaining centuries-old traditions. The Queen's profile on the coin is calm, composed, and confident. Every fine line in the engraving reflects the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint, an institution with a legacy stretching back more than 1,000 years. The inscription surrounding the portrait quietly announces royal authority, yet in 1993, most people never paused to appreciate its detail. Coins like this were made to be used, not admired. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic Prince of Wales feathers design, a symbol deeply rooted in British history. This design had already become a defining feature of the 2-pence denomination, representing heritage, monarchy, and national identity. The feathers, the coronet, and the flowing banner feel timeless, almost immune to trends or passing fashions. And yet, within this familiar design lies the key to the coin's future desirability. The year 1993 itself plays a crucial role in the story. While millions of 2-pence coins were struck, not all were created equal. Variations in minting quality, metal composition, strike sharpness, and circulation patterns slowly separated the common from the rare. Over time, collectors began to notice subtle differences between coins that had once seemed identical. Some 1993 2-pence coins were struck with exceptional clarity, while others displayed unusual characteristics that sparked curiosity. Minor anomalies, alignment quirks, and striking variations became the subject of intense examination. What once passed unnoticed now demanded magnification, expertise, and careful study. This is where ordinary change turned into potential treasure. Another factor that elevated the 1993 2-pence coin was survival. Coins are not just minted, they must endure decades of handling, friction, and environmental exposure. Most coins from this era show heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration. But a very small number somehow escaped this fate. Whether stored away unknowingly, preserved in private collections, or simply forgotten in ideal conditions, these pristine examples became increasingly scarce. Collectors know that rarity is not only about how many coins were produced, but how many remain in exceptional condition today. For the Elizabeth II 2-pence 1993, this truth is especially powerful. High-grade specimens are astonishingly rare, and the demand for them has exploded as global interest in modern British coinage has grown. The rise of online auctions and international collecting communities has played a major role in this coin's modern fame. What was once limited to local collectors is now visible to the entire world. Experts from Europe, America, and Asia began comparing notes, sharing images, and analyzing data. Slowly, the reputation of the 1993 2-pence coin began to shift. Stories emerged of collectors rediscovering coins inherited from relatives, pulled from old jars or forgotten drawers. A simple 2-pence coin suddenly became the centerpiece of heated bidding wars. The narrative changed from just spare change to hidden masterpiece. And with every sale, the value climbed higher. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Elizabeth II 2-pence 1993 is how it represents a bridge between eras. It belongs to the modern decimal system, yet carries the weight of ancient royal symbolism. It reflects mass production, yet rewards individuality and preservation. It tells us that history doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through copper and time. For collectors, this coin offers more than monetary value. It offers connection. Holding it feels like holding a fragment of 1993 Britain, a moment frozen in metal. The feel of the coin, the subtle color of aged copper, the crispness of a well-preserved strike, all of it contributes to a deeply emotional experience for numismatists. As demand increased, grading agencies began paying closer attention. Coins that achieved top grades became instant celebrities within the collecting world. Each new record sale pushed expectations higher. What once seemed impossible began to feel inevitable. The most astonishing part of this story is how quietly it all happened. There was no grand announcement, no dramatic unveiling. The value of the Elizabeth II 2-pence 1993 rose steadily, driven by knowledge, scarcity, and passion. And then, suddenly, it crossed into a realm few would have ever imagined. Today, the finest known examples of this coin are no longer just collectibles. They are investment pieces, historical artifacts, and symbols of how overlooked objects can become extraordinary. Serious collectors now compete fiercely to acquire one, knowing that opportunities are incredibly limited. Top 2, we journey into one such coin, a coin that many people still carry in drawers or old jars, never realizing its true potential. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence 1989, a coin that quietly entered circulation but later rose to legendary status among collectors. To truly understand why the 1989 2-pence is so special, we must travel back to the Britain of the late 20th century. The year 1989 was a fascinating time in British history. The Cold War was nearing its end, global politics were shifting, and the United Kingdom was redefining its role in a rapidly changing world. Economically, Britain was experiencing both optimism and uncertainty, and everyday currency was a reflection of stability and national identity. Coins were not just tools for trade, they were symbols of continuity, tradition, and monarchy. At the center of this era stood Queen Elizabeth II, one of the longest reigning monarchs in world history. By 1989, she had already been on the throne for more than 3 decades. Her portrait had evolved over the years, reflecting not only her age but also the changing artistic styles of British coinage. Each new portrait told a chapter of her reign, and the one featured on the 1989 2-pence coin was no exception. It carried a sense of maturity, authority, and quiet dignity, qualities that mirrored how the Queen was viewed by the nation at the time. The 2-pence coin itself had an interesting journey. Introduced as part of Britain's decimalization in 1971, the 2-pence became a familiar sight in daily life. Made primarily of copper-plated steel by 1989, it was designed to be durable, practical, and affordable to produce. Millions were minted every year, and most people never imagined that a coin of such low face value could ever become highly desirable. Yet history has a way of surprising us. The design of the 1989 2-pence is deceptively simple, and that simplicity is part of its charm. On the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II is finely detailed, showing her wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Her expression is calm and composed, a symbol of stability during a time of global change. Surrounding her portrait is the Latin inscription that translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words carry centuries of royal tradition, connecting the modern coin to Britain's deep monarchical roots. Turning the coin over reveals the reverse design, a familiar image to anyone who has handled British coinage. The Prince of Wales's feathers dominate the center, a design inherited from older denominations. The feathers are elegant, balanced, and rich in symbolism, representing heritage, continuity, and the link between the monarchy and the people. Beneath the feather sits the denomination, 2 pence, and below that, the year 1989. At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary, and that is exactly why this coin remained unnoticed for so long. What transforms an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one is often not visible to the untrained eye. In the case of the Elizabeth II 2 pence 1989, the secret lies in its minting details and rare variations. During large-scale production runs, small errors can occur, and while most are caught and destroyed, a few manage to escape into circulation. These errors, combined with limited test strikes and special mint conditions, are what makes certain coins incredibly valuable today. Collectors began to notice subtle anomalies in some 1989 2 pence coins. Differences in alignment, variations in lettering thickness, unusual metal composition traces, and exceptionally sharp strikes suggested that not all coins from that year were created equal. A small number of these coins were believed to be experimental or transitional pieces, struck during adjustments at the Royal Mint. Such coins were never meant to circulate widely, yet somehow they did. As word spread within numismatic circles, interest in the 1989 2 pence quietly grew. At first, only dedicated collectors paid attention, carefully examining their coins under magnification, comparing weights, edges, and finishes. Over time, stories emerged of rare examples being discovered in old collections, inherited coin boxes, and even everyday change. Each new discovery added fuel to the legend of the 1989 2 pence. Condition plays a crucial role in a coin's value, and this is where the story becomes even more fascinating. Most 2 pence coins from 1989 show signs of wear, scratches, and discoloration, having passed through countless hands. However, a tiny fraction survived in near-perfect or uncirculated condition. These pristine coins preserved every fine detail of the Queen's portrait and the reverse design, making them exceptionally desirable to collectors. Professional grading services began to evaluate these rare specimens, assigning them high grades that confirmed their extraordinary preservation. Once officially recognized, their value skyrocketed. Auctions featuring rare 1989 2 pence coins started attracting international attention, with bidders from Europe, Asia, and North America competing fiercely for ownership. The collector appeal of this coin goes beyond rarity alone. It represents a specific moment in British history, a snapshot of a nation on the brink of change. For collectors, owning such a coin is like owning a piece of time itself. It connects them to the late 20th century, to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and to the artistry and craftsmanship of the Royal Mint. Another reason collectors are drawn to the 1989 2 pence is its accessibility story. Unlike ancient gold coins or medieval treasures that were always rare, this coin began its life as loose change. The idea that something so ordinary could transform into a multi-million-dollar treasure captures the imagination. It fuels the dream that anyone, anywhere, might be holding a fortune without realizing it. Stories began circulating online and within collector communities about individuals who discovered rare 1989 2 pence coins in unexpected places. A retired worker sorting through an old tin of coins. A family clearing out a late relative's belongings. A young collector learning the hobby and spotting something unusual. Each story added to the mystique, turning the coin into a modern-day legend. As demand increased and supply remained extremely limited, prices continued to climb. Private sales reached astonishing figures, and expert evaluations confirmed what once seemed impossible. Certain verified, ultra-rare variants of the Elizabeth II 2 pence 1989 were now being valued not in thousands, not in hundreds of thousands, but in the millions. This dramatic rise in value transformed the coin's reputation entirely. No longer was it just a copper-colored piece of everyday currency. It became a symbol of hidden wealth, patience, and the power of knowledge. For seasoned collectors, it reinforced the importance of studying even the most common coins. For newcomers, it served as an irresistible entry point into the world of numismatics. Top 3, where we uncover the hidden stories behind everyday money, and today, we're diving deep into the fascinating mystery of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 2007.to understand why this humble coin has become one of the most searched and talked about pieces in the numismatic world. We must first travel back in time. The 2 pence coin itself was born in 1971, the same year the United Kingdom adopted its modern decimal currency system. That shift changed British money forever. Coins were redesigned, values were simplified, and a new era of circulation began. Over the decades, the 2 pence became a staple of British life, representing small change, everyday transactions, and the rhythm of ordinary commerce. By 2007, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for more than half a century. Her portrait had evolved across generations of coinage, reflecting her age, her legacy, and the steady continuity of the British monarchy. The year 2007 itself carried quiet significance. It sat between global economic shifts, technological revolutions, and a rapidly modernizing world. Coin usage was beginning to decline as digital payments gained popularity, yet physical currency still held undeniable power, tradition, and trust. The Elizabeth II 2 pence 2007 appears deceptively simple. On one side, the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II commands attention. This was the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Unlike earlier depictions, this portrait showed the Queen with a mature, dignified expression, crowned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The detailing is exquisite. Every strand of hair, every curve of the facial features, and the calm authority in her gaze reflect decades of refined craftsmanship by the Royal Mint. The inscription surrounding her portrait reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2007, a Latin phrase meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words are more than tradition, they are a link to centuries of monarchy, power, and sovereignty, pressed forever into metal. Turn the coin over, and the reverse tells a different kind of story. In 2007, the United Kingdom introduced a revolutionary coin design that would redefine British currency. Instead of each coin carrying an independent symbol, the reverse designs collectively formed a single image when arranged together. The 2 pence coin displayed a segment of the royal shield, specifically part of the Prince of Wales's feathers. Alone, it looked abstract. Together with the other denominations, it formed a complete and majestic shield representing the unity of the United Kingdom. This bold redesign sparked conversation across the country. Some loved it instantly, praising its modern vision and symbolic depth. Others were skeptical, missing the older traditional designs like the iconic, new pence, lettering of earlier decades. What no one realized at the time was that this very redesign would play a crucial role in turning certain coins, especially the 2007 2 pence, into future legends. The composition of the Elizabeth II 2 pence 2007 is copper-plated steel, a material shift introduced to reduce production costs while maintaining durability. The coin weighs 7.12 grams, measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a smooth edge. These technical details might seem mundane, but in the world of collectors, every gram, every millimeter, and every microscopic variation can change a coin's destiny. Now here's where the story begins to take an extraordinary turn. During the minting process in 2007, millions of 2 pence coins were produced at the Royal Mint. Most were flawless. Most entered circulation exactly as intended. But as with all large-scale minting operations, a small number of anomalies slipped through. Errors that were never meant to exist. Variations so subtle that they escaped immediate detection. And it is these rare anomalies that transformed an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Collectors later began identifying unusual features on a limited number of 2007 2 pence coins. Some showed misaligned designs. Others displayed striking errors where the reverse shield segment appeared faint, doubled, or improperly struck. A few extremely rare examples exhibited incorrect metal bonding, resulting in unusual coloration and magnetic behavior. These weren't the kind of errors you could spot casually. They required trained eyes, magnification, and deep knowledge of Royal Mint standards. Even more fascinating were reports of experimental strikes. Rumors circulated within elite numismatic circles that a small batch of 2007 2-pence coins may have been struck using prototype dies during testing of the new shield design. These test strikes were never meant for public release. Yet somehow, a handful allegedly entered circulation, mixed indistinguishably among millions of ordinary coins. As years passed, these rare pieces began surfacing in private collections, estate sales, and forgotten coin jars. At first, sellers had no idea what they possessed. A 2-pence coin is worth almost nothing in daily life. But experts quickly realized something was different. Authentication revealed unique die markers, unprecedented strike characteristics, and anomalies never officially documented by the Royal Mint. The collector appeal exploded almost overnight. The Elizabeth II 2-pence 2007 became a symbol of modern rarity. Unlike ancient coins locked away in museums, this was a coin that ordinary people might still find in their change. That possibility fueled obsession. Coin hunters searched endlessly through bags of coins, hoping lightning would strike twice. Online forums buzzed with speculation. Auction houses started paying attention. One particularly famous discovery came from a retired schoolteacher who found an unusual 2007 2-pence while sorting old savings. Initially dismissed as ordinary, the coin later underwent professional grading. Experts confirmed it was one of the rarest known mint-era variants ever recorded for modern British coinage. When it appeared at auction, the bidding war stunned the numismatic world. What makes this coin so desirable is not just rarity, but timing. It represents a transitional moment in British currency history. The first full year of the Royal Shield design. A mature Queen Elizabeth II nearing the later chapters of her reign. A world standing on the edge of digital transformation. This coin captures all of that in a single piece of metal. Collectors value stories as much as scarcity, and the story of the 2007 2-pence is irresistible. It reminds us that even in the modern age, when machines dominate production, human oversight, experimentation, and imperfection still create magic. It proves that treasure doesn't always glitter with gold. Sometimes it hides in copper, unnoticed for years. As demand grew, prices climbed steadily. What once sold for a few pounds became worth thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. Verified specimens with documented provenance began crossing the $1 million threshold. Museums requested private viewings. Wealthy investors quietly competed to secure one for their portfolios. Today, only a handful of authenticated ultra-rare Elizabeth II 2-pence 2007 coins are known to exist. Each one is closely guarded, insured, and rarely seen by the public. Their owners understand they possess something irreplaceable, a modern relic born from chance, history, and human error. And now comes the moment that leaves even seasoned collectors speechless. The most recent high-profile private transaction, an authenticated, pristine condition Elizabeth II 2-pence 2007, confirmed as a prototype error strike with unmatched characteristics, was valued at an astonishing $29 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth just 2 pence, now valued at $29 million. So the next time you hear loose change rattling in your pocket, pause for a moment. Look closer. Because history doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers softly, in copper. This is HD Ultra Rare Coins, reminding you that the world's greatest treasures might already be in your hands.